This is Goku's son, DBZ, and today I will be counting down the top 12 worst comic book movies. So, obviously based on comics / graphic novels, and limited to no more than max 2 movies per franchise is the basic rule, based on different opinions, based on opinions on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rotten Tomatoes. So take a few different things into account. And yes, it's gonna be comic book movies, not superhero movies, okay? So there might be one or two based on a comic that was not a superhero. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, coming in at number 12. Superman 3, which was a pretty bad movie to say the least. Pure and simple on that. Superman 3 with that as one of the worst movies. Though, to be fair, there's a lot of competition for being a really bad movie. Keep in mind. Coming in at number 11. From Warner Brothers and DC Comics, Green Lantern. Which, by the way, in my own personal opinion, I don't think Green Lantern is one of the worst. But keep in mind, that's just my personal view on it. I wouldn't have put it on the top 12 list. But there's a lot of people out there, obviously, that very much despise Green Lantern. There's not much you can do about that. Coming in at number 10. X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Which obviously is very much a hit movie, and to be fair, I'm with the people on that movie, as well as Superman 3. Indeed, Last Stand is a pretty bad movie, and they disgrace the Phoenix Saga. To be fair, the 90s animated cartoon series did a much better job on being loyal to source material, obviously. Coming in at number 9. Starring Sylvester Stallone, Judge Dredd. Now, to be fair, the new Dredd, it was pretty well done, personally. Judge Dredd would be one of those guilty pleasure movies for me, but I understand why it's so disliked by a lot of people. Because the acting is not exactly the best. I mean, Sylvester Stallone, to be fair, isn't the greatest actor. But, though he did a good job on some movies, but yes. In Judge Dredd, yeah, overall, the whole picture, the movie was not the best well done. Even the practical special effects weren't as good as even some of the other movies on this list. But indeed, Judge Dredd is a pretty bad movie, to be fair. And also, look at some of the dialogue in the movie, and you'd understand why it's on this list. Coming in at number 8. If Spider-Man fanboys had their way, this would be number 1. Even though I'm a Spider-Man fan, so I pretty much don't like this movie. But coming in number 8, Spider-Man 3. And to be fair, to me the only bright side to this movie was the casting and the character Sandman. I thought was the only good thing about the movie, to be fair. But the emo version of Peter Parker, I can't forgive because I'm a big Peter Parker fan. Of course, this is probably one of a few reasons why, of course, Andrew Garfield was my favorite Spider-Man. And I really much hate how they betrayed Eddie Brock, aka Venom. I'm a fan of Venom, Eddie Brock, so yeah, I was not too pleased about how they betrayed choosing a little skinny dude from that 70s show to play Eddie Brock. I mean, seriously, people, seriously. And that's why we had the reboot. Because that piece of crap movie. Coming in at number 7. The Crow. City of Angels, which is indeed very disliked by a lot of fans. Now, on the other end, of course, the first Crow movie is probably one of the best comic book movies, period, out there. And it's aged rather well, to be fair. The dialogue in the first one was good, overall quality, and stuff really spot on, and loyal to the graphic novel. But, yeah, the Crow sequels did not do justice to the first movie. But yeah, Crow City of Angels, yeah, really bad, to say the least. And if you don't believe me, watch it on Netflix and you'll see what I mean. Coming in at number 6, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Which, of course, created sort of a Deadpool and, yeah, tied his mouth shut so he couldn't talk. And that's the complete opposite of what Deadpool is. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is an awesome actor, and I'm personally looking very forward to Deadpool movie next February. So I'm stoked, but yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine makes X-Men First Class seem a little bit better, to be fair. The special effects weren't that good, to be fair. That was one of the worst parts of the movie, was the special effects. And yeah, I'd say in particular, though, a lot of people who are extremely hateful of the movie are, of course, the Deadpool fans, obviously. I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan, but I do enjoy his sense of humor and stuff, so I understand where people come from really much hating on this movie. Coming in at number 5, the Nail in the Coffin 2 Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider, the Spirit of Vengeance. And yeah, special effects were really bad. And as bad as people think the first Ghost Rider is, let's be honest, okay? Ghost Rider 1 is a masterpiece compared to the second one, Spirit of Vengeance. If you don't believe me, watch both back to back and you'll see exactly what I mean. Coming in at number 4, from DC Comics, Jonah Hex. Now, personally, on this at number 4, I can't say anything about because I never ended up watching Jonah Hex. I heard so much negative stuff about it, I ended up not going to even watch it. And I know on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like a, something like a 13% out of 100. So yeah, that's very, very low, to say the least. But, I mean, everything I've heard and seen, even the special effects and stuff, yeah, Jonah Hex, for all accounts and knowledge I have, is very, very bad. And, yeah, if you look at a lot of people's opinions and stuff, yeah, it's easy to say it's one of the most hated movies. Coming in at number 3, also from DC Comics, Batman and Robin, with the king of one-liners, the punning man, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, known for lines like, "Time to kick some ice," or "The Iceman cometh," or "Everyone just chill." Yeah, seriously. Bad, bad movie, but I think in some ways Batman and Robin is one of those movies that's so bad it's funny. But yeah, I understand, I mean, between the bat crotch, the bat butt, the bat nipples, and all that, excuse my language, all that bullshit. Yeah. There's nothing else really I can say about Batman and Robin, because there's really nothing positive to say. They basically turned Bane into a mindless giant brute with no brains whatsoever, to say the least. Oh, and for those of you out there that may have not noticed, the mad scientist that, of course, the woman who becomes Poison Ivy and stuff in the movie was assistant to and supposed creator of Bane, the mad scientist, that would be a dear great actor, to be fair, that was wasted in that movie, which played Lionel Luthor in Smallville show. So if you never noticed that, really take a look at a scene on YouTube or something so you don't have to go through the entire torture of rewatching Batman and Robin movie. But yeah, definitely worthy of the top 3 spot. Coming in at number 2. From George Lucas and Marvel, Howard the Duck. Yeah, seriously, Howard the Duck. If anyone denies that this movie should be like in the top 2 ranks between this and number 1, apparently they've never watched Howard the Duck. I'm sorry, I understand things like guilty pleasure movies, for me, like a movie like Green Lantern, or something such as that, but I can't forgive Howard the Duck. As bad as people say Episode 1 The Phantom Menace was, Howard the Duck, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst George Lucas film ever made. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, of course, it depends. Every person has their own viewpoint, and opinions are like noses. Everyone has one. Here's some dishonorable mentions. Now, even though I completely disagree with the first on the dishonorable mentions list personally, a lot of people, didn't like it. The live-action Spawn movie. Though, for me, it's, in my personal, probably like top favorite movies of all time, and definitely one of my top guilty pleasure movies, but I can't help it. I love the Spawn comics and stuff, and even though it may have not been great source material, the actor they had play Al Simmons Spawn was great, and the guy who played Violator was also great. I very much enjoyed the movie, but of course it's really just everybody's opinion, frankly. Coming in at the next dishonorable mention, Iron Man 2. Which, let's be fair, as bad as some people think Iron Man 3 was, it had its definitely bright sides. But Iron Man 2, let's be fair, is probably the worst, or definitely one of the 2 worst movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to be completely honest, now. And next, of course, Man of Steel, which was also really bad. Special effects were good, but seriously, Superman destroyed most of Metropolis, and he killed freaking General Zod. I'm sorry, but no. I grew up with Superman. I grew up with the Superman like in TV format, Dean Cain, and in movie, I grew up with, of course, Christopher Reeves. So I'm very biased when it comes to like Superman personally. I'm say there's a lot of Christopher Reeves Superman fans that agree that casting-wise, I have nothing bad to say about the casting of the newer Superman. Good casting. But I just didn't like that they tried to go with the Nolan dark tone and stuff. It works for Batman, but Superman, it just doesn't suit. I'm sorry, but no, just no. Next dishonorable mention, The Crow Salvation. The first Ghost Rider and a movie personally is one of my favorites, but of course a lot of people didn't like it, and that is The Spirit, which was made by some of the same people that, of course, did the actually pretty positive, respected movie Sin City. Now here's number 1, the biggest piece of crap comic book movie out there, period. And it basically led to no Superman movies for like 18 years. And basically a nail in the coffin to Christopher Reeve's career. And that would be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And yes, seriously, really bad movie. I mean, as cheesy as you can get. They even turned one of my favorite DC villain, Lex Luthor, into a joke in that movie. And seriously, that Nuclear Man, and also Superman all of a sudden had the ability to like make with his eyes make walls rebuild itself and everything. That's just plain downright stupid and lazy. And talk about bad special effects, oh my word, such bad special effects. It hurts my head even thinking about that movie. The dialogue was bad, the effects were bad, the acting was bad. In general, there's nothing good to frankly say about Superman 4 Quest for Peace. But, of course, leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think, personally, are the top worst comic book movies. And give me ideas for future top 12 lists. And possibly future reviews, movie-wise, video game-wise, or maybe book-wise. And I, of course, hopefully in the next day or two, will upload a little bit of a comic review of the first issue of Spider-Gwen, and possibly also try to do maybe a review in the near future of the first issue of Star Wars Darth Vader. But till next time, as always, of course, this is GokuSunDBZ. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ. And please subscribe, let other people know about my channel. And I'll see you next time here, as always, in YouTube land.